Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's another update 2 of the buddy deal between me, Paul and Al with the Sturmtiger, and I'm doing the railway carriage. I think Al is maybe doing a small railway carriage as well with a 1/72 scale one. Almost certain he is. I'm sure he'll let people know when he puts his build up. So let's have a look what I've been doing these last few weeks, since last 10-12 days. It's quite a bit actually. I'm quite pleased with the performance, how it's going. So I get days where my mouth's really dry, so I have to keep drinking all the time. Right, so let's start off with the railway carriage. We'll bring it down, and as you can see, I've started to do the wood decking, which is, it's coming out quite nice. This needs finishing yet, but it's getting there. It's getting there. Quite pleased with that. And that's basically just very light washes of acrylic paints, which are, I think I used a grey, I used a German grey, I used white, I used London grey, I used buff, I used flat earth, light mud, and black, and German camo brown, I think, and these 3 washes, which is the Vallejo oiled earth, the Vallejo dark brown, dark brown, and actually 4 washes, and the European dust, all washes, and I used, which I forgot all I had this for a long time, which is a game wash, which is a pale grey as well. I used those in it. So it's not quite finished, but it's getting there. I'm quite pleased how it's coming out. I didn't just want to scrap a brown base coat and then just scrap a load of different washes over the top of it. I wanted to make a bit of detail in each wood, which I think is getting there. Sorry, I keep drinking. Yeah, so yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. And I've also got the decals on. Probably one of the best decals I've ever put on. The decals are beautiful. Literally seconds in the water and they were coming off the sheet. Literally seconds. Obviously this needs all weather and that yet, so it's just like all the I'm just giving it a dull coat now. Give it I'm going to start some oil work and weathering on that, and obviously below needs all weathering. Luckily I can still take these off so and weather them, so it's not too bad. And the decals on the other side as well. Well, they say that went on really nicely. Literally seconds, 1, 2, 3, and they were ready to come off, and they went down perfectly. Didn't rip, didn't tear. I'll say it's probably one of the best decals I've probably used. Right, so I'll put that back there. The tracks haven't changed yet, so that's one thing I need to do yet. These are the actual, they're finished either, the wood's nearly finished. Like these points that go onto the base of the flatbed as well. This needs to be painted and weathered, and the wood needs finishing off yet. But I've got 4 of those done, all different sort of varying shades. We've got all those 4 like that. So they need finishing yet, but they're getting there. They're getting there. So I'll pop them back where I got them from. Right, and I made a start on the Sturmtiger as well. Quite a bit done. I was quite surprised how much I got done. In here, I've got a lot of sub things in there, like the exhausts, the parts for the interior in there. So I'll just keep them on, and all these. Oh, that's the point where we go. Before we go any further, I had an idea when I was cutting up all the sprues from the flatbed, and there was all these, like most companies doing now, are doing the sprue number and all lettering or whatever like this, aren't they, with the thing. Well, I thought I'm going to try it anyhow. I'm going to obviously snip this part off and keep them for stencils. You never know when they're going to come in useful. Well, I thought I might as well give it a go. Something different. I'll give it a go. I kept them in there anyhow, so there's a lot more in there. See, I've got the base exhausts done. They were in 2 parts at the bottom, and I managed to get the seam line out. or most of it out, but it's going to be covered anyhow with the a big cast iron part that goes on the bottom of the turret. Yeah, most of that's just sub-assemblies for the internals of the Sturmtiger. And in here we have, I've built up all the shells. As you can see, they're a hell of a size. They're all, I think it's 16 or something like that. I've got the sprockets and the idlers in here as well. They're built up, ready to go. Next thing for all these obviously is priming. Put them on with polystyrene with cocktail sticks up the bums. Get those done. Yeah, and there's a couple of spare wheels and yeah, spare wheels mainly in there, and so I should put those back so they'll be all ready to come in. And I think these it's a sweet, it's called unsweet, it's a pudding called goo or glue or something. My daughter-in-law gets them, so they come in quite handy for the glass. I've got a resealable lid, so I use them as well as the other small things. In here I won't take all these off, I've just counted all the row wheels up and labelled them with a number on. You can see that, so that's X1 whatever it is. And that's the two, just to label them all. You got the sprocket in there and the more wheels, and last one is more wheels again. So that's all the wheels. They're all cleaned up, they're all ready to be painted. Right, let's have a look what else we've got done. So these are sprayed up. On the, I don't know if I told you, on the flatbed gives you two options. This comes with, this is already on the flatbed, it's complete, you know, 2 pieces. But there's 2 parts you cut off, which I added on the end one with the just slightly changed it to one version, and I'll just use the back of them just to hold all these chocks down. These have got to be made into wood yet, and I've got to do a couple of logs I think as well, like chock, more bigger bulky chock blocks. These are the things that go along the side. These are for the coat as well. I use the Mr. Colour, I'll get it down. I use the Mr. Colour set, get 4 paints in there, and obviously you use their own thinners. You can see there's the colours that you get. Everything's in Chinese, Japanese, and there's no English on there at all, but you can follow it. Yeah, and they are CS538900 of Mr. Hobby if anybody's interested, and they're, you know, they're not quite decent size as well. You know, slightly bigger than a 10ml bottle, and it's really thick as well, so you can lay it down quite a lot. So that's what I use for the flatbed and other parts to it. Right, let's have a look what else we've got on here. I didn't show you the figures. I haven't done any more on those yet really. I'll bring all these bits and pieces down that I've sub-assemblies I've got done for the Sturmtiger now. I'll put these down here. We'll go bit by bit. I've cut a lot of things up and trimmed them. I'm not going to use it as a clear varnish, as a clear thing, so it's a lovely fit. I must admit, it's a really lovely fit, so that's all clean and ready to go. This is for the inside. I shall paint that and then place it in. That's probably red oxide. And like I see, that's the stand for where there's a rack where some of the the shells are stored. Right, I'm going to start on the, I haven't done any of these, so I haven't put together yet. That just comes as one piece. Nice, got a nice texture on it, but I'll be covering that up with Zimmerit, because the one I'm trying to replicate is a picture I found, and it looks, you know, because it's been caught, it's been captured, it's been, you know, knocked out and abandoned by the crew, so that's what I'm going to try and replicate with the Sturmtiger to go on the flatbed. So there's that. This is part of the internal stuff, or the breech. Quite nice. A lot of PE. This is all PE from the kit. I've got an external PE set as well, so I may use some of that for the side skirts. I think most of the side skirts are off the one I'm trying to build, so won't need to use them, so they'll be kept for somewhere else. Yeah, that's quite nice. They came out quite nice, you know. People said about the build, someone said a misaligned a mould on one of them, but I haven't come across it yet. Paul did with his, I'll show you when I get to it, excuse me if I'm having a drink. Misaligned moulds. I haven't had any problems at all. So it must have been caught up and they reset the things in with the new kits, so that's all I can think of. Right, this is a part of the breech. Oop. Again, we've got a bit of PE on there. It's all done. Little bits of PE. I've cut the back for the engine deck. Got all these done, all ready to be put on at some point. And when it's all been primed and whatever. And the internals done. Come on, let's go. Come on. Yeah, so these are nice. They've got a nice texture on the back as well. On there, they look really nice. So they're all ready to go. And I say because it's like the engine deck is split up into bits, because obviously you've got the full there's a full internal kit as well. So obviously when you want to display the engine and things like that, so that's why the engine deck is like that and not just in one piece like normal. Right, we're going to the main hull. No, we'll leave the main hull till last. This is part of the internals for the casemate. Start at the back. I'm going to take these off because the lights aren't there, and I didn't realise until I thought, what am I doing sticking them on? So they'll come off easy enough and I can paint them and put them in a small pot and then re-put them on when you get near the time. Yeah, this is a part that people seem to be having problems with. Is I've took a couple of the metal things off because they're not tight enough yet, but might move along quite nicely so I can reposition them, he says. But yeah, quite delicate pieces. You've got one part PE, one part plastic. But this is where I was saying about the mist moulds. I didn't have any problems at all with mine, none whatsoever. So these go on the inside. Let's bring that down. Come on, why don't you come down? There you go. It's just dropped. I'll get it in a minute when I find it. Yeah, so that's just the so this other side's obviously the mirror image of that. I've done a couple of barrels. I'm going to stick a couple of barrels on the back end of it, you know, damaged barrels. I'm going to put a couple on and a hose as if they were, you know, trying to fill it up and trying to make it start. But yeah, so I've had a couple of those up there ready to be done and weathered and one thing and another. Right. That's the part there. The part, there we are. That's the part I found. Let's just get my tweezers. Put them all on here. Yeah, so you can see with the lower hull, quite a bit done on the lower hull. Got the radios in. These on the sponsons. This isn't a bathtub, by the way. The bottom part is, but the rest of it isn't. All these sides you put on yourself, and you got all the torsion bars in there. And I haven't put much on the back at the moment, obviously, because I'm doing a bit of Zimmerit, so I thought I'd leave it mostly blank until I get to that point. Nice fit. Again, no fillers required. Even on the front, I think Paul had a small gap he had to fill. But didn't come across that problem. And you can see about the radio how detailed the little radio is. It's even got little wing nuts on top of them, on top of the cases to fasten them down. You can see, I don't know if you can see them quite enough. Yeah. Maybe I shouldn't have glued that down, but it'll pop off easy enough if I need to. But you're really not going to see a lot of that unless they have the you know, unless you put the clear one on, but I'm not putting the clear part on. Well, I am, but I'm covering it with paint, so yeah. You know, there's a bit of movement. I suppose you can nip, there was some nibs on the back of these that you can make them fully movable, I suppose, but with being in a flatbed I didn't think I really needed to. There's a little bit of movement in them. but there's a little nub you could have cut off, and you could have made it full working if you were putting on an uneven diorama. Let me just put that there for now. There's a couple of more bits, not much. This is part of the breech. You can have it open or closed, so it does move. It's tight, but it does move. So I'm going to leave mine open with nothing in it, I think, or just slightly ajar with nothing in it. So that goes obviously when you put the barrel together and everything, and it goes in. Right, talking of the barrel, I've made it up. Nice straightforward build. I've got the PE in there. Took a little bit of working around that, but it went in there no problem in the end. There's a bit of overlap on the bottom, but you're not going to see that. I could even trim it off with just snips, but you won't see it once the thing bits are on. There is some cast texture on the mantlet and the mantlet cover, but I thought it maybe just needed a little touch more, so we added a little touch more to it. So, and if you can see my little grey nuts, there were PE in the kit, but I've got that Meng set of nuts and bolts, so I added them to that instead of using the PE parts, so they go right round. On the capsule one that I've got, I think it's a counterbalance isn't actually on the tank, on the Sturmtiger, so I'm leaving it off. And this idea was Paul's. He great idea. We drilled them all out because they were quite shallow, so we just got a little drill and drilled them all out, make it a little bit more convincing. And you can see the rifling in there. So yeah, so that's ready to put together. I'm going to concentrate on the railway carriage at the moment. I've just got to start weathering that, get the top of it finished, start thinking about the base. I'm going to finish the tracks off first, and then put the what do you call stuff down, and then I can push the tracks into that, because they'll be finished by then, they'll be painted, and just, you know, sink them into the brain fart, whatever it's called, that'll be sunk into it. So I think that's where we are. I don't think there's anything else I've got to say. Oh, I should have said this at the very beginning. Stevie's doing better now. He's at home. He's communicating in bits and pieces, sometimes by himself, by messaging, or sometimes it's his sister. He's doing okay. He's not brilliant, long way from it being brilliant, but he's at home and he's in familiar surroundings, and you know he's doing okay. As I say, I'm going to, after a few weeks' time, I'll be going down to see him. I can't really go at the moment because my youngest daughter is due to have her first baby, so I'm going to be a granddad very shortly. So obviously I have to stay here just in case, because it's any time in the next couple of weeks. So we'll have to be about. So that's why I'm not going to go down till after the baby's born, just in case. Because no my luck, I've travelled down to see Steve. Charlotte will go into hospital. Yeah, so he's doing okay. He's I've been, you know, speaking to him, messaging it, and he's, you know, he's still planning to do a couple of builds, this, that, and the other. And when he gets back into his old self to a certain degree, and then he's going to start doing some modelling again, which would be nice to see. I feel so sorry for him, because the guy's had nothing but bad luck. Nothing but bad luck since, well, for the last few years really. He's had nothing but bad luck. So, but yeah, he's okay. He's doing a lot better. At least he's home. So that's amazing. At least he's home. Obviously he's being monitored and one thing and another. So that's where he's at. So I think that's it really. I don't think there's anything else I've got to show you. Oh, I've ordered one more figure to come. Oh, it hasn't come yet, so I'm going to add it when it comes. So there'll be 4 figures, possibly just 3. I'm unsure yet. We'll see. But yeah. So that's what we're doing. So it's me waffling now. So thank you very much once again for all your kind comments. And I've gone lazy again and I'm not responding, so I'm going to have to get back into it again. Keep saying this, and I do, and then I don't, and I do, and I don't. So thank you very much for your kind comments. I really do appreciate you all. And there's something I got sent from YouTube or something about a thanks button. I don't know what it's all about, but I haven't used it. I'm going to read into it first. But a lot of people I've noticed are saying a super thanks that you can donate. I don't know what that's all about. So I may do that, I may not. Might stick it on and see what happens if he doesn't know to take it off. So we'll see, we'll see. So this is Greg signing off, and we shall see you very, very soon with another update on the buddy build between me, Paul and Al. So we'll catch you later.